In this video, I'm going to discuss if the Samsung Galaxy A12 is worth buying. Is it a good phone? Should you spend your money on it? Let's go ahead and take a look. So the Samsung Galaxy A12 is a LTE device. It is not 5G, and it costs relatively pretty low. It's only $170 if you get it unlocked, or you can get it for free on prepaid. So already with the price point, it is a very good option just with the price alone. For the overall size and dimensions, it's a 6.4 inch height, 3 inches wide, 0.35 inches thick. It weighs approximately 7.23 ounces. So the weight is a little bit much, but I'll get to that in a second why. The build quality at this price point definitely is going to be plastic. It's expected at this price point. It's not a flagship. It has a glass front, plastic back, plastic frame. The benefit of being all plastic is that if you do manage to drop it, unlike glass, it won't break as easily. So there is a little bit of positivity with that. But even so, I would recommend slapping a case on it so you can get better grip on it and to give it some protection from a few drops and scratches here and there. Now let's talk about the screen and display. And this is typically where you know if you're getting a flagship type device just by the display. And there's 3 levels of displays to choose from. You got low end, you got mid-range, and you have flagship. And this display is definitely going to be on the lower end. It has a 6.5 inch PLS IPS display, and that's going to be a resolution of 720. So you're getting HD display, not full HD, and you're not getting any type of flagship level quality of display here. So you're at the lower end tier for display screen quality. You're getting 82% screen to body ratio on that 6.5 inch display at 20:9 ratio, and PPI density is very low at 270. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why the price point is so low on this phone. For most people, they really will not be disappointed in the quality, although if you put it next to mid-ranges or even some cheaper lower end phones that have 1080p displays, you won't know the difference. But regardless, Samsung makes some quality displays. For the software OS, you're getting Android 10, and you're getting the Samsung UI on top. And it depends, it's very different from stock Android. You have a lot of specialty features that Samsung puts in its software. A lot of people like Samsung software. It's come a long way. You have a lot of extra things that stock Android doesn't offer. And the good thing about this software is that it feels like the same type of software that's on even more expensive Samsung phones. So the software, if you like a lot of features and customizations, this phone will be really happy with. Powering this device is a MediaTek chipset, a Helio P35. Now this is a lower end chipset. It's not going to be a powerhouse, and it's not even a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. But I can tell you this much: this is going to handle all your day-to-day activities on watching video, listening to music, listening to podcasts, texting, talking, video chatting, sending email, browsing the web, all that good stuff. You'll definitely be able to do this with no problems on this device, although it will be a little bit slower than a flagship, but you won't notice that much of a difference, especially at this price point. Along with that processor, you're getting 3 gigs of RAM or 4 gigs of RAM depending on your location. If you're getting either of those amounts of RAM, you will be doing okay. You should be able to run several apps in the background with minimal crashes or minimal closing of apps, especially if you're not a power user. If you're a regular person doing regular day-to-day activities, you shouldn't see any problems with this amount of RAM, especially paired with that processor. As long as you're not taxing it with heavy graphic intensive games or any type of video editing, other than those 2 activities, you should be good to go on any other things that are downloaded from the App Store or any other day-to-day activities. You should be good. And for internal storage, you're starting off at 64 gigs of storage, which is pretty good these days. That should be the minimum on smartphones. And it's even better on this device because you get micro SD card slot support. So expanding storage is not a problem on this device, especially since a lot of things are in the cloud nowadays. Even flagships that are $1,000, they start off at 128 gigs, most of them. So 64 gigs is not too much of a downgrade. Another thing that makes or breaks a smartphone is the camera setup, and this is actually a pretty good setup for the price point of 170 bucks or free. You got a quad camera setup on the back, 48 megapixel main camera, 5 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro, 2 megapixel depth. So you have several cameras in the back. That's the trend nowadays. The macro and the depth to me are not going to be used that much by most people. I'm very impressed with the ultra wide degree of view. It's 123, so you get a lot of you're gonna get a lot in the picture and in the video. So for the price point, that camera setup is not the best, but it's very, very good, very acceptable for people that just want a budget device to take several videos and pictures and upload it to social media or send it to their friends. The main output of video is 1080p, which is not terrible, but that's definitely on the lower end spectrum of smartphone cameras. For the selfie camera setup, you have a 8 megapixel shooter, which is capable of shooting video at a maximum of 1080p. That is pretty much bare bones, acceptable, average. It's not going to blow you away, but it will definitely get the job done. And at this price point, you cannot complain or expect anything better, especially if you get this free on prepaid. Another little bonus is that it has a headphone jack, which is not found on too many devices, especially flagships. So if you want to hook up your headphones or your mic or to your car via an aux cord, this will be a good choice for you. If you like to hook up your wireless devices, your wearables, it has Bluetooth 5.0 on board, which will definitely do the job. You can hook up your smartwatch, your smart band, your wireless headphones and speakers. This phone should be no problem hooking up to those devices. Yeah, USB Type-C for charging, very standard port for Android phones. And you have a fingerprint sensor to unlock your device. And it's going to be a side mounted, which is pretty good. It is very reliable, get the job done. And the other benefit is that if it's on a table facing the back facing down, you could unlock it without lifting it up like you have to do on rear mounted fingerprint readers. This doesn't have the fancy Face ID or any type of face recognition, but it's a very reliable and easy way to open up your device. And last but not least, it has a massive 5,000 milliamp battery, which is definitely good. You will not have a problem going the whole day with battery of 5,000 milliamps. That'll get you through the whole day, especially with that lower resolution screen and lower end processor. This battery will go on and on and on. It's better than most other phones out there. And if you do manage to need a charge, it has 15-watt fast charging on board. So definitely that's one of the bright spots of this phone is the battery, the massive battery on this. So there's a lot to like on this device, but there also has to be some price cuts, some things that they have to cut out, certain features such as the lower end screen and the lower end processor. Those are the things that really make this device at the price it is being sold at 170 bucks or free. But it does have some things that are just awesome, like having the headphone jack. It has the micro SD card slot. It starts off at 64 gigs of storage, and you get that massive 5,000 milliamp battery. This is also a good phone with the software because it'll feel just like a flagship Samsung device. You know, although this phone doesn't have 5G, it is definitely going to be welcomed by people that just want a nice Samsung experience, that don't do too much heavy stuff on their phone. They just want a good phone at a good price, especially if you like Samsung software. So I think this is good to go, especially if you get it free or $170. This is in the same price point competition with, let's say, a OnePlus N100, which has similar specs. But if you like that Samsung experience, this phone is the one to go, the Galaxy A12. And you can find it unlocked or on prepaid. So that's been my review. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.